episode of Naruto Shippuden, the Sasuke Shinden side story comes to an epic conclusion. Does it live up to the hype of the Naruto spin-off novels, or does it drown in a sea of red bloody chakra? I think this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden was absolutely perfect. Not only did it feature an incredibly epic action scene at the beginning of the episode, but even after the actual conclusion of the Naruto series, we get some really great characterization and some fantastic development from some of the greatest characters from the Naruto series. Not to mention tons of cameos from some kick-ass Kages. So let's just talk about the story in this week's episode. Pretty much it opens up with Chino and Sasuke getting ready to throw down the final members of the Chinoiki clan and the Uchiha clan. And big shock, Sasuke completely wipes the floor with Chino. However, this battle is just plain freaking awesome. The fact that they're in the Hell Valley is really fitting. I love the fact that Chino is able to utilize her Katsuryugan abilities to summon all of this red iron-filled water and basically transform it into a bunch of dragons, which attack Sasuke en masse. But of course, thanks to the power of the Sharingan, Rinnegan, and of course his very trusty sword, he's basically able to decapitate all of these water dragons with such ease. Honestly, the animation here is damn near movie quality, and one of the biggest reasons to check out this week's episode. It really drew me in. I especially love the fact that it almost seems like Chino might be a worthy opponent for Sasuke when she tries to use her signature genjutsu abilities on him and trying to quite literally transform him into a massive bomb. But of course, he reverses all of these techniques with the power of his Sharingan, and he comes out on top. Now, of course, there could have been a stupid moral here about the power of friendship, and there's a little bit of it there. It's sprinkled over the top of this battle, but I love the fact that Sasuke is able to convince Chino that them killing each other really isn't going to result into anything. Of course, Chino sees this as very hypocritical because Sasuke himself is from the Konoha village, and I love the way she put this. Konoha is essentially a beautiful tree. Its leaves are bright and cheerful, but its roots are black. And that honestly makes sense when you look a little bit of its past and all of the things that Danzo did with the Konoha village. However, things are a lot different now, and Sasuke is incredibly thankful just to have friends who care about him and want him to actually live. And because of Naruto's friendship, Sasuke is where he is today, and he reminds Chino that she is not without her friends, not just Sasuke himself, but of course Fushin. Fushin is essentially the Naruto to Chino's Sasuke. The story comes to a pretty rapid end when Chino realizes the wrongs that she has committed and actually decides to turn herself over to the Konoha police. She ends up going into jail, but she is confronted by Kakashi the Hokage, who lets her know that despite the fact that she has done some terrible things in the past, she can rectify these things by becoming a shinobi and fighting with her very own life. In fact, she's actually caught the eye of the Mizukage Mei, who makes another great cameo in this episode, and wants to bring Chino and Fushin into the fold because of the knowledge that they have, and that they can sort of proper them up to become some kick-ass ninja and atone for all of their sins. Like a lot of other characters in the series. Kakashi even mentions that's kind of what he's doing. Sasuke, of course, is going on his very own journey, and that's something that Naruto is living with every single day, as he's constantly trying to turn this whole wishful thinking way of the world into something that could potentially be a reality. It's pretty damned inspiring stuff. But the rest of the episode, I think, is where everything really comes into its own, because we get this great conclusion where Sasuke decides that he's actually going to return to that underground fighting arena, and he's going to save all of the fighters by going up against all of them, taking them out, and actually freeing them himself, and they're actually going to be claimed by the Cloud Village. And this leads to, honestly, my favorite scene from the entire episode, when we actually get another confrontation between the Raikage and Sasuke. Now, this scene is incredibly tense because we have to remember, the last time that these two characters met, they were in Mortal Kombat with each other, and Sasuke frickin' cut the dude's arm off. Well, actually, he used Amaterasu and Raikage ripped his own arm off, But the point is, this could have been a scene where the Raikage could have just been really pig-headed and really pissed off at Sasuke, and at the same time, it was kind of a really humbling moment, because he sort of gives Sasuke his blessing for all of the things that he's doing, and doesn't really seem to hold any sort of grudge over having to remove his arm. The scene here just really, I thought, was really great. I just loved how it played out, especially with Sasuke, who barely says a word whatsoever, yet you can see from the expressions on his face that he's very sorry for what he's done, not to mention they oh so slightly gave us that small flashback of when the Raikage had to remove his arm. It was a scene that I didn't expect to play out that way, and it shows that these characters have grown and have been greatly influenced by Naruto, especially when the Raikage admits that it was actually Naruto who tried to confront him in the past about trying to get that hit out of Sasuke and trying to remove it entirely. It was a really powerful scene. And not only was Sasuke able to save all of the fighters in this underground tournament, but he was also able to arrest all of the people who were involved. There is one part of the story that I think is just a little shoehorned in, and that's when we go back to the scene of Orochimaru and that other character, En Oyashiro, otherwise known as Ninja Elton John. And apparently, En Oyashiro is another surviving member of the Chinoiki clan. In fact, he's sort of like the entire patriarch of the clan, and he happens to be the father of Chino. According to him, he actually eliminated and killed all of the Chinoiki clan because they were planning to rise up, take on the Uchiha clan, and get all of their revenge and everything. But he managed to save his daughter, and over the years has been sort of like training her to become strong and competent, and sort of watching her from the shadows. I don't know why, but I would have just still liked it if he was just the regular character before. The twist of him being a member of the Chinoiki clan just seems a little strange and just a little shoehorned in. That being said, it was really shocking when he decided to remove his glasses and you saw his blood-red eyes. Fans of Sakura and Hinata will also like this episode, and getting to see both of them work together in this much more mature state is very awesome. I have to say, Hinata and Sakura are definitely looking a lot more attractive when they are older. It's really pleasant to see them working well together, especially Sakura, who's just adorable as she's constantly waiting for Sasuke to return. And it looks like at the end of the episode, he is going to be returning to Konoha Village, maybe to make some babies with Sakura, if you know what I mean. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? This episode was perfect. From beginning to end, every single freaking element of it. I mean, the action scene speaks for itself. It's really inventive and really cool. I mean, yes, it's not the first time that we've seen someone use an element and transform it into like the ethereal form of a dragon, but the fact that Chino was able to utilize it in that way was really awesome, and watching Sasuke fight against them was honestly one of the highlights of the episode. The way he just effortlessly cut all of them down, slamming into them with his lightning-based techniques and cutting through them with his sword. He's so swift and incredibly badass, and it was very shocking when he was actually forced to actually stab himself with his own sword and was actually injured by Chino to the point where he was about to explode in this giant bloody mass. But I was waiting for that moment when he was going to reverse everything with the power of his tried and true Sharingan, and that's exactly what he did. And he didn't defeat Chino so much as he actually influenced her greatly, which again, like I said, is one of the greatest things about this episode. The characters themselves are growing. Now that they're a little bit older, they're a little bit wiser. This is a version of Sasuke that we've never seen before, and for him to actually acknowledge Naruto as his friends, to admit his faults when he's confronted by the Raikage, and even saying that he's going to return home to see his friends is honestly really heartwarming and makes sense for the character. And I love the fact that he went back to that tournament and decided to save all of those ninja by actually defeating all of them. It would have been appreciated to see another action scene from that, but whatever. It was still an incredibly satisfying moment. Like I said, the scene between him and the Raikage actually sent chills down my spine. It was pretty fantastic. Overall, this was a great conclusion to what is, I think, a really great addition to the Naruto series, and it's something that I didn't expect. After the whole Naruto-Sasuke battle, and Naruto and Sasuke saying goodbye with him getting ready to go on his journey, I honestly thought that was going to be the high point of the Naruto series. Like, this is it, it's never going to be good again. But honestly, this arc surprised me. It was freaking great. From beginning to end, it had some great animation attached to it, and some characters that the viewers can actually get invested in, despite the fact that they might come across as fillerish. But they're not. They're right at home in this brand new story, and honestly, it's got me very excited to see what they're going to do with Shikamaru's story. I'm not exactly sure what his story is going to involve, but I loved the preview for it. I especially love the fact that he's going to be playing Shogi with Inoki. I'm really glad that they're bringing his character back, and again, it's just illustrating that all of these different villages have finally decided to come together and squash all of their ancient ninja bullshit. Really, this was just a great addition to the Naruto series, and I can't praise it enough. And I thought that this was one of the better episodes from this Sasuke Shinden arc, and honestly one that I can't wait to watch again. Naruto fans, if you want some more brand new Naruto stories featuring your favorite characters and some brand new ones, I highly recommend this episode and the entire Sasuke Shinden arc, and if anything, it'll get us very excited for this brand new Shikamaru story. So I'm going to give this episode right here a 5 out of 5. Honestly, in my opinion, it was a perfect episode. Great action, great characterization, lots of cameos, and a great way to end what is arguably one of the coolest arcs from the entire series. So check it out, Naruto fans! If any of you did watch this week's episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Did you like this episode and this arc as much as I did? Did you have a favorite scene from this episode? What do you think of this brand new, more mature version of Sasuke? Did you have a favorite character cameo from this week's episode? What do you hope to see from Shikamaru's story? Tell me all that and more in the comments section. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews as they are released. Make sure to leave me a comment or two, and if you liked this video, why don't you give it a like? I'd really appreciate it. So I'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.